first ever Miss Universe Uganda 2026 is Michelle.
We're right here on Power Flavor Magazine, and I'm so happy to bring you the CEO, the director, the man himself behind Miss Universe. We've been having a couple of series editions for you on the show, and now we have him here with us, settled a bit. We've been, it's all about hijacking him wherever we can find him. This time we have him here. He has been with us on the journey on Power Flavor Magazine. We have seen him grow to an incredible person, and we are happy to be with him here once again. Welcome, Joram.
Thank you so much, Mary, for having me. This is like a full circle moment, because I remember you're one of the media personalities that gave me my very first interview. Do you remember? So many years ago. Absolutely so many years ago. And I'm super excited to be interviewed again, to hear from you. Yes, let's do this.
So how are you feeling today? We want to know.
I feel very overwhelmed, absolutely overwhelmed, because Uganda has showed us a lot of love. Honestly speaking, I'm very grateful to every Ugandan that is watching this and the entire universe, because we just finalized Miss Universe Uganda, the very first time ever it is happening in this country. Can you imagine, for the past 75 years, Uganda didn't have the license for Miss Universe, and finally it is here. And I would say people have perceived it really well. They've received it absolutely amazing. So thank you so much, Uganda, for believing in this. So I feel overwhelmed. Honestly speaking, I'm speechless. I'm overwhelmed. I'm thankful. I'm all emotions right now.
The first interview we had with you for Miss Universe, you were a little bit nervous. And right now we see the joy.
I know. Like when we launched this entire project, of course, we had so many people that never believed in it. I'm not going to lie to you. You know, Ugandans have this whole thing of like, another beauty pageant. And I remember even at that launch, so many media personalities were asking me, what is that one thing that you're going to do different that will put Miss Universe different from all these other pageants? And I kept telling them, this is the only pageant that, that drives the whole envelope of inclusion. The only pageant where you're going to see mothers, you're going to see, people that are 40, 50, 60 coming in. There's a lot of inclusion. And to me, that was my driving force. So right now, I feel accomplished. The team has done an amazing job, super amazing job. And I would say we've won.
You've always been a winner.
Always.
But we have known you for having all you see your wall of fame, all your beautiful models. You're from Amito. I think you started from there,
Amito, yes.
Taking all of them one by one. And we knew that's where Joram is taking our beautiful ladies. What inspired you? What is that thing that told you, let me bring Miss Universe to Uganda?
Having been a part of the fashion industry for the past 15, 16 years, I felt like there was a gap, because I come from a background of modeling whereby to make it international as a fashion model, it's very hard. I'm not going to lie to you. As much as we do have 25 girls that work internationally, the business is very strict, very, very strict body-wise, very strict age-wise, very strict on everything. You have to be built a certain type of way. You must be a sample size. You must be between the age group of, 18 to 24 to 25. And then also coming from a background whereby I've been a part of so many pageants in this country, but still the element of inclusion wasn't there. The element of, who's going to be fighting for women that are mothers? Who's going to be fighting for women that are married? Who's going to be fighting for probably women that had kids when they were 18, 19, and now they have successful careers, but simply because they can't have their voices heard? Honestly, that was my biggest driving force to get Miss Universe back at home. And also to push the whole envelope of women empowerment, because this is something that I've always stood for since, I started the agency. And I've also learned that this is my purpose in life. Like when you're growing up, it's very hard for you to discover what exactly you want to do. Because I tried so many things, Mary. There was even a time I was working on TV. Remember those days? But now I strongly believe that, this is my calling, this is my purpose, to elevate women, to amplify their voices, and also to see that Uganda shines globally. Yeah.
But talking about how tight it is and how you have to be built a certain way, there's always this question they keep asking that the models they like are the dark skinned from the north, not the brown ones, they have caste. What do you have to say about that?
Like I say, the fashion industry is very. It's an amazing industry, but it has standards. It has specifications. Just the same way you wake up and you say, "Oh, I want to study law," you have to do the, the course units. You want to be a doctor, you have to go through the process. It's the same thing with fashion. If someone wants to be a fashion model that is working in Paris, London, Milan, New York, they sample sizes. Most especially if you're going to do shows, they work with strictly sample sizes. And to be a sample size, you must fit in a certain caliber of clothes that they, that they're showcasing, something like that. And I feel like every woman is built differently, honestly speaking. I've been doing this for the past 15 years, but then I reached a point and I felt like every woman is built differently. Every woman has a voice. So if someone can be a fashion model, there's something else that they can do. They can use their voices to create change. They can stand up for different advocacies. They can change the universe. And honestly speaking, when we did Miss Universe this year, thank you, Jesus, everything that we manifested happened. We had a mother of 4, Ethiel. She's a corporate woman. She works in a bank. Where would you see that? And she was like 38 years old, 35, 38 years old, And then we also had a 34-year-old mother of 1, Bridget Katunji. Bridget became, the second runner-up Miss Universe Uganda 2026. Where would you see that? This is the only competition whereby, we've seen women coming in from different angles of life. The divorced women, the married women, the single women, people that felt like life was over for them. And then finally there's a platform where they will stand on and say, wow, I can absolutely change the world. Yeah.
I was also talking about my journey, why I joined Miss Universe as well. And it was crazy. I remember Joram called me the first time and said, "Are you sure?" I'd never been a model before. I never wanted to be a model before. I'd never tried modeling before. Never been in a pageant. I've covered all the pageants in Uganda. Name any pageant, I've been there. But the one thing that I loved was the fact that they were supporting the women. They were bringing something for the women. Being a mother, when you become a mother, somehow we forget ourselves.
True.
You spend the whole day home in PJs. You're not doing makeup anymore. You're not going to the salon anymore. You start forgetting yourself. I'd go to that point where I'd literally forgotten everything. I didn't even know how to apply makeup. So somehow a few months back, I started getting back my feminine side and trying to reconnect with it. And I started feeling what it is to be a lady. And then this came up. I said, I'm not ready. First of all, I looked at my stomach, my body, I said, I'm not ready. But I said, no. I just want to show these women out there that you can do it. You can, the experience, the thrill, it's just beautiful, just knowing that I can try out something. And when I got shortlisted first, I was like, wow. And I saw all these beautiful, I first went to the list and I said, I must be the oldest. And no, I'm going back. I must. And they said, no, there's someone, all this. I said, where are all these women from? I was like, where did Joram get all these women? They said, no, I'm going to join. And I look, the girls were so beautiful. And when they chopped to 25, was it 25, 30? And then I had my name.
But I remember you made it up to the last round.
Yeah. Yes. And I had my name and I was like, I looked at all these girls, all these beautiful girls, and I said, this can't be me. It can't be me. I said, I had to go back and check on. I said, did you see the names properly? I said, look at me. I wish there was something out there that would bring, just like you have started, that would support the women out there, get themselves back, know that they are worth it, they're still beautiful, they're still loved. What you did was really incredible.
Thank you.
How did you get
so
all these
much.
ladies, all of us together?
Like I said, I've been in the business for the past 15 years. And honestly speaking, we usually get a lot of people that want to be models here at the agency. And, someone can come in and they're like 35, 36, and they're like, oh, you know what, Miss Swabra, Miss Irene, I want to be a model. But then simply because we have the age restriction, pageant, we sent them away. So we kept telling ourselves, we sat down as a team, the entire team that works at JMM, and then we told ourselves, we need an event that amplifies voices of different women, irrespective of their ages, their sizes, where they come from, their backgrounds. And honestly speaking, the best way to do this was through Miss Universe Uganda. That is why the minute we got the license, we were like game over for all pageants in this country.
Beautiful. Speaking about Miss Universe, we had our Miss Universe, we had Kimberly. By the way, your queen, from the minute she entered, we were with our cameras, but were restricted. From the minute she entered, we all somehow felt.
That was the girl.
We already felt like this is going to be our Miss Universe. As judges, it was really a hard decision for you because the world was screaming Kimberly. And as judges, how did you come down to select the final Miss Universe?
So definitely before the girls see the final judges, remember we see them right from the auditions. And we always judging them right from day one. Right from the time they came in at the auditions, we kept giving them scores. Right from the time they went to boot camp, because you'll actually realize that some of them came in very scared, nervous, anxious. But after like 2 months, they blossomed and, they became like really world-class leaders. So there's the bootcamp score, there's us watching them, because at the end of the day, the final show is a beautiful show. But there's also the back end of, the character for the girl, the personality for the girl. How does she, socialize? Is she adaptable? We look at all those things. And then the judges give the final score as well. So there's the bootcamp score and there's also the final score. So the final score is the one whereby, the judges will look at the girls on stage. They'll see how they answer questions. They'll see how they walk, their poise, their deportment, and then all that. And they compute their score plus our bootcamp score, and then they get the final winner. Okay. So it's a process. It is.
Okay. Also, looking at our queen right now, she has done a lot of modeling before. She has traveled. She, when it comes to, she's literally she was preparing to be Miss Universe. Totally. Does also your background contribute to you becoming the queen?
So usually when we're looking for, Miss Universe Uganda, we don't even look at the background for the girls, because honestly, they all come from different backgrounds altogether. Yeah. There are girls that have never, ever walked in heels. I'll give you the best example is Kimberly Jael Aremo. The very first time Kimberly wore those heels and she was walking, she was like, oh my God, how am I going to walk in these heels? Oh my goodness, I can't do this. Oh my goodness. But did you see how she transformed? So it comes back to us empowering them, because it's an empowerment platform. It's not that, oh my goodness, Mary lives in the US, so when Mary comes here, that doesn't matter. Yet we had so many girls that were global. Look at Bridget Katunji. Bridget Katunji was Miss Uganda UK 2016. Major. And then we also had girls from Miss Uganda, girls that had done big pageants like Surea Umeima, Joa Nabatans. We had girls that were super, super exposed. But at the end of the day, we were looking at a girl who's transformable, a girl who's moldable, a girl who's teachable, a girl that you can mold into something, and then they transform. And honestly speaking, Daka was that girl. So it wasn't about, oh my goodness, because yes, she's been in the business, she's been modeling for the past 10 years, but you see, modeling and pageantry are totally different. Absolutely different. And that's the bit that a lot of people don't understand. Fashion models do things differently. Pageant girls do things differently. That is why Daka struggled a lot.
Everything was on point. There was nothing that you could say was cut. You could not see.
So high.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I don't know how you're going to do it next year, because it's already every year you have to be better than.
Exactly. Now let me tell you something, Mary. Every Ugandan has been asking me, Joram, where have you been getting the money from? But now let me tell you one thing. Your social capital is your currency. Dear Ugandans, your social capital, your net work is your net worth. It's your currency. I have been in the business for the past 15 years, and Mary, I have made amazing relationships with so many people. And honestly speaking, like when you're constantly giving back, because I've been working for so many people. I've worked for all the biggest fashionistas in this country, the biggest designers, the biggest events. We've done everything in this country, and we've always been giving back. Like how sometimes you do shows, you're not paid, you do that, and everyone felt obliged to help us. That is why every designer in this country was on Miss Universe Uganda. And they did it out of love. The power of collaborations, you get it. And this is something that I want to teach a lot of Ugandans. So designers, we had like every designer supporting this. We had all the big makeup artists supporting this, all the big hair companies supporting this, the production companies, the ones that were doing stage, lighting and sound. ATS, Adam, thank you so much. These people came through for us. And those are the biggest expenses, you know. And then also look at the hotels where we were staying. We had SKP, that's Auntie Shiba Kasami, alongside Honorable Ruth Nankabira. They sponsored us a lot. But all these were relationships that we've built along the way, whereby, you know, they had to take the girls to Western Uganda at Silver Line Single Hotel. And then we also had a very beautiful boot camp at Kalanoga Resort, courtesy of Ella Nantumbe. These are all relationships, you get it? Because these are things that, you know, when you're starting an event, people are going to bill you. They will bill you hundreds and hundreds of millions, you know, whereby you could have a budget of like, say, 800 million. But honestly speaking, if I tell you the budget that we worked with, you'll even say, no, Joram or Limba. But it's because of the power of collaborations, you know. Look at the event setup as well. We had, you know, Alice coming in to help us, I Candy coming in to help us. So many people. Abantu baja, or like how you're doing a wedding, and your friends say, what can I do? What can I do? What can I do? What can I? Before I knew it, everything was more or less covered. You know, right from the media companies, from the even UBL coming on board. It was the power of collaborations. And that's what I kept telling myself. I was like, Joram, the minute you get this license, use your social capital.
From the start, everyone used to say, but that guy of yours is fashion. He's fashion.
I think this child.
You know, Joram Biayambara. Tosobola bisanga muduka, tosobola. But Joram, who dresses you?
I am the international brand ambassador for Kai's Diva collection by Kaijuka Abbas. Thank you so much, Kaijuka Abbas, for giving me the honors to always represent you. Abbas has had my back right from day one. Like this, I could speak about this man for an entire day. For like an entire month, literally. And he was one of the biggest sponsors as well for Miss Universe Uganda, because he did the sashing ceremony. Wajidaba. The sashing ceremony made the whole country speak. And then he also came back at the finale. And now he's been dressing me right from day one. So I would say I'm very blessed, I'm very lucky. Plus also so many designers that I work with. Yeah.
When is the Miss Universe World happening?
So Miss Universe, the international pageant, will be happening in Puerto Rico on the 24th of November. Dear Ugandans, wowo solo gende Puerto Rico. Come, let's go together, let's support Dakar. But she will be traveling earlier.
Yeah, you got visa. Soko yogere ku visa.
Let's have faith, let's believe, you know? So the final competition is on the 24th of November in Puerto Rico, but the Queen will be traveling earlier. They usually travel like a month ahead of time. So by the 24th, 23rd of October, she'll be out to start her journey. Yeah.
In fact, the fans and the people watching would like to know what more do you have planned for Kimberly?
Kimberly will be representing Uganda in an international beauty pageant. That's Miss Africana International. So we crowned her Miss Africana Uganda. The pageant is next year in November. So we have an entire year to prepare her. But then another thing that we have planned for this girl is that she's going to be an icon, whether you like it or not. She's going to be influencing for so many brands. She's going to be an inspiration to so many young people, because her project is in line with intentional mentorship. So there's so many projects that are lined up for her to travel around Uganda to inspire so many, you know, different young people in line with mentorship. And then she's also going to be everywhere, but in a beautiful way. Watch this space. Don't say we didn't tell you. So usually after the finale, we focus a lot on the winner and the runner-up, because the two girls will be going for international pageants. But then you'll actually realize that even in the top 5, we have 2 more girls that are going to be representing Uganda in international pageants. Bridget Katunji will be representing Uganda at an international pageant, and then Jemima Mpoza as well. They were all in the top 5. So instead of just focusing on Dakar, we're going to be focusing a lot on all the 4 girls, but a lot of focus is on Dakar and Kimberly.
Now, the voting process. We want to know about the voting process, why Kimberly didn't win Miss Universe. We also want to know why Kimberly didn't win, since you've all been screaming Kimberly, and why Dakar. And we have Joram here, the one himself, to explain to us what happened.
So in pageantry, there's something that we call people's choice. So with people's choice, we task the girls to, make campaigns so that people can vote for them. Because at the end of the day, the public is also a part of the pageant. They're fully engaged. So with people's choice, this is where people have to vote for their favorite contestant, and this was done on All Africa Votes. So it's very, very important that when people are voting, they need to understand that the winner of the public vote automatically qualifies to the top 5. That is why we do the public voting. Because at the end of the day, all the girls are all on 0. So whoever supersedes and, excels and has the highest vote automatically makes it to the top 5, and that's huge. That is massive, Mary. For someone to be there knowing that for me on the finale night, I'm already in the top 5. Then afterwards, I'll battle it out. So that is exactly what gets the winner of People's Choice to the top 5. The public vote. This is the person that, the public is very obsessed with. They love her, they adore her, and they're supporting her so much to see that she wins. But their support pushes her to the top 5. It doesn't necessarily mean that she's going to be the winner. So whatever happens in the top 5 during the Q&A, during the walks, during everything from the judges, it comes back to the final verdict from the judges. So at that point, the minute the girl gets to the top 5, she's back to 0. You get it? Her score goes back to 0. And now the judges make the final decision. That is why Kimberly Jael Aremo won the public vote. She was loved. She went super viral. We love Kimberly so much. I adore Kimberly. I love her so much. But then at the end of the day, the minute she made it to the top 5, everything went back to 0. So she was competing with Daka, with Surea, with Jemima, and with Bridget Katunji. Those were the final, girls. And like they say, the judge's decision is final. So when the judges made the final decision based on how they answered questions, based on their poise, on their deportment, on their international appeal, because at the end of the day, they compare all the girls and they look at who has the highest chance of representing Uganda so well on the global scale. So the minute all the girls make it to the top 5, it's beyond just seeing these girls as, oh my goodness, she's going to be in Uganda. They start looking at them like, if we put these girls on the international scene, let's put all these girls at the Miss Universe stage. Who's going to do so well? So dear Ugandans, thank you so much for supporting us. Thank you so much for supporting Miss Universe Uganda. Thank you for embracing another pageant and for also, empowering these women through your support. Singate muliwo, singate tuliwo. So we are so grateful, we are so thankful. And I would also love to call upon all of you to support Michelle Daka as she travels to Puerto Rico. How can we support her? Let's all rally behind her on her Instagram, on her TikTok, comment, like, subscribe to her YouTube channel. And when the voting starts, let's vote for her, because at the end of the day, she's not just representing JMM or Miss Universe Uganda. She's representing the entire nation. Absolutely the entire nation. So, when she places, when she wins, our country is shining to the fullest. And there's so much that we're also working on. Mary will be the first one to let you know.
Oh, very nice.